the Zoom chat. I'm Kelli Wilkins, your host from My Self-Reliance, and so good to be with you all, and those of you who are watching the recording. Before we get started, I want to share with you just a few announcements that we have coming up. So let me just fix that speaker view again, see if that works. Oh, I'm seeing Andrew. That's all good. Okay, so we have a special summit coming up, a Self-Reliance Summit. And we will have 20 amazing speakers from all topics of self-reliance to help build our skills and knowledge in the area of different areas of growing your own mindset, community projects, how to manage the finances going forward out of the system, education, all kinds of things to help you be self-reliant. And that will start on the 18th of July. We are looking for unique and talented speakers to share with us what they're up to in any of those topics. So if you know someone who you think should present over the course of 10 days, so we'll have 2 presenters a day, one at midday, one in the evening, and you'll be able to watch these in your leisure or live. And if you come on to a live session, there'll be a Q&A, and you'll get to find out from experts across all kinds of fields. So we'll have a calendar come out so you can kind of mark where you want to ask your questions and be on a live chat or watch the replay. So that's exciting. But we are taking submissions now. So if there's anyone that you think should be a part of that Self-Reliance Summit, then please send them my way, and we will be able to invite them on to be a guest speaker. Okay, do check the myselfreliance.com.au website for all amazing workshops coming up between here and there. We've got the permaculture one-day workshop that's for an advanced permaculturalist. We have a canning workshop, meat and vegetables on different days. We have a fermentation and friends workshop. So check the website for all those details. They are in Sydney. So if you're interstate, you are welcome to come and join us. But for those who are local, it makes it easier. Okay, jumping into tonight's topic. It's about thinking. What you think about, you bring about. And I'm just going to share with you my screen. How do you have what you want? And this is one of my favorite topic areas, is because sometimes we fall into the trap of dealing with life's circumstances and having to kind of, fight off with the sword and the shield and going, okay, I'm taking this one on, I'm dodging that one, and how do you deal with how life comes at you? Do you ever feel like that? Do you feel like life comes at you like, oh, not another thing to have to deal with, right? And so sometimes we feel at the effect of life. Well, I'm here to help you and show you how you can be the designer, creator of life, and rather than dealing with things as they coming at you, that you can step into your future the way that you want it to go. And then you can enjoy what's coming at you because it's what you said that you wanted. How would that be? If you could have life show up the way that you want it to go. Doesn't mean to say you're not going to have difficulties. Doesn't mean to say everything's going to be easy. But when it shows up the way that you designed it, it's way more fun. Now I'm just going to share with you a few thoughts on the subject of thinking. Let me see if I can bring this up. Whoops. I'm not creating bread. Okay. So here is a few quotes about thoughts. Let me read them out to you. Every thought we think is creating our future, by Louise Hay. Begin to believe in the power of your thoughts. Thoughts have energy. Make sure your thoughts are positive and powerful. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. True? Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. Your thoughts shape your vision. You see what you choose to see. This is the one of the thought of the night. Thoughts become things, by Mike Dooley. Nothing can harm you as much as your own thoughts, unguarded, said Buddha. And nurture your mind with great thoughts, for you will never go any higher than you think. And I totally believe that in that one, you can't outperform your own self-concept. Mm-hmm. So if you think poorly about yourself, how can you ever do better than what you believe? So powerful, right? Mm. Now, when we're thinking about your thoughts, if you had on loudspeaker all the thoughts that you have, you might be very astonished, especially when you have the thoughts about yourself. The thoughts, if you put them out on loudspeaker and everyone could hear what you were saying about yourself, would you be proud of that? Or if everyone could see, like a little readout of your thoughts, would they tell you, oh man, you would say to somebody else, if you could read it, you would say, why are you thinking about yourself that way? That's not true. That's not how I see you at all. That is a terrible thing. But so I want you to turn it around and just have a little think for a minute. How do I speak to myself? What is my self view? Now, I feel like I'm going to share this. I wasn't going to share this, but I'm going to share this. I always struggled with thoughts about myself. How thinking about personal development was really important to me, because as if there was somewhere to get. Like when I feel that empowered, then I'll be okay. And so I did a lot of work in this area. And the thing that really made the difference for me, if you have any struggles in this area where it's like, and my husband described it this way, he said I had buyer's and seller's remorse. Okay, so whether I did something, there was a regret. Whether I didn't do something, there was some regret. Did I say it well? Did I not say it well? There was some kind of, check off and tick and balance in my head about how did that go? Oh, I just embarrassed myself. All this kind of buyers and sellers remorse is like doing my head in literally. It's like, I don't know how you manage to be in your own head. It must be very tiring. And I think the biggest thing that made the difference for me was one day, I want to share with you a book that I absolutely love. And the author is Michael A. Singer, and he's written a few different books. And the book is called The Surrender Experiment. So read this book, it'll absolutely blow your mind. I listened to it on Audible. It's such an easy listen to because it describes his life. So, and then he's written another one called The Untethered Soul. So whether you read The Untethered Soul first and then you read The Surrender Experiment, or vice versa, but they're both amazing reads. And then one day I had this experience, and I remember I read it back and it was March 29th. It was 2 days after my birthday. And it said this was the day that I forgave myself for every unmet expectation. So for everything that I had never completed, or for everything that every feeling that I felt that I'd never completed on, forgiven myself completely, fully, utterly. Yes, thank you for putting that in the chat, the link. And that was the day that I never looked back. That was really freed up my soul to completely be who I am and who I'm not. So then it allows me the opportunity just to be able to dream big and go for it. Now, let's have a think about how we bring into existence the things that you want through our thoughts. How does that actually happen? Everything is made up of atoms, particles, right? Everything's made up of vibrations. And so our thoughts have vibrations. Luckily, our thoughts, and if you've ever watched The Secret, then you will know that we don't materialize our thoughts in an instant. But over time, and with enough concentration of repeated thoughts, we can bring about those things that we want to have happen, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. And so what you focus on can actually materialize. Sometimes things are around us happening all the time, but until we start to focus on it, we don't realize that they're really there. So if I said to you, wow, there's a lot of white Mercedes on the road, you probably have never figured it, you probably have never noticed, but then until you start looking for white Mercedes and then they start showing up, it's like there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. And so sometimes in our life, if we put out there what we want to have happen, you'll start to bring those things closer. There's your reticular activator. That's right, Kath. Yes, it's a part of your brain that focuses on those things, and it is called your reticular activator. Thank you. So the question is, what do you want? Now, most people actually haven't taken the time to sit down and think about what is it that you actually want. Most people will just deal with what's here and what's now. And the most important thing is the thing that's nagging at them, the thing that's the loudest in your ear is the thing that you go to, right? And you're dealing with that, and then you're dealing with that over here, and there's not usually enough time in the day to go, hang on, what is it that I actually want? And so I recommend, there's a few practices that I recommend, and you may be already doing these. They may be already part of your practice. But you need to take a pen and a paper and actually sit and think about the things that you want. Now, before you actually take the piece of paper and pen, it's just a matter of taking some time, and hopefully in nature is always the best place, and just being with it and closing your eyes and imagining your ideal situation. And it might be a year away, or it might be 5 years away, and people don't realize that they over consider what they could accomplish in 1 year and under consider what they can accomplish in 5. So really, you want to do give it enough time to be able to go, if I could have a life look like this, what would that look like? And I did this exercise, and I wrote down that I wanted to be in a community of like-minded people. And when I wrote this and I described this community, and people are living around me and having this beautiful energy, and I actually visualized a completely different community. I did not visualize this community. But so you have to be careful what you ask for, because you're going to get what you want, right? And so, but it's going to, and I actually did it on purpose, because there is a way that you don't have to order, you don't have to put it out to the universe and say how it's going to happen. You actually just decide what it is that you want, and the universe will organize itself to bring to you what it is that you want. And if you don't put too many parameters on it, it may be way better than you could have imagined. Okay, so having now I'm about to do this process myself again. I do it every year, but now as I'm thinking about my ideal rural property, what I want to have on my piece of land, my wish list, it's really important that you send out to the universe your wish list, because then you'll know that you've got it. And I actually did that with the house that I'm living in now. A few years ago, I was looking for a particular house, and it had to have my non-negotiables, and it had to be by a certain time. And when I actually put it out there, I did the work to look for the house, and it had to have, these bedrooms, but it had to have a study. And I wanted a theatre as well, and I wanted a two-car garage, but it wasn't showing up. And but this day rolled around that it was like, okay, it has to happen by today. And I went and searched all the houses that was on my list, and I went, no, none of these are it. And I was a bit disappointed, and I was a bit like in my prayers saying, well, nah, didn't work. I was just disappointed. Went along to a Christmas party, and there was a real estate agent at this Christmas party, and my husband was just chatting with her, and I was kind of there over there, and then he called me over. He said, Kelli, look at this one. And she was showing me through this property, and I said, oh, it looks really amazing. Yes, it's got this, oh, but it's a 3-bedroom. No, I need a 4-bedroom. She said, but have a look at this. The 4th bedroom is a study. Oh, look at that. And so she arranged the next day to go have a look at it, and it ticked all the boxes, plus it had the theatre, plus it had a water filter, which is bonus. Didn't know I could have that as well. And because it didn't read the way that I thought it should read, I would never have found it. And so that was a blessing to me, because I knew that it happened in a way that all the effort that I put in needed to happen, but the universe organized it so that it brought me the right property for me. And so doing that same process again, going out there going, okay, I want my rural property, want the acreage that I want it with the view, it has to have the dams, has to have the running creek, XYZ. And then the next step is to create the visual. So this is an old one, and I haven't created the new one, but this is my vision board, double-sided, and I hang it like that so I can look both sides. So I recommend a vision board for what you want to have happen in your life. So that's the next process. I recommend writing it down, and writing it down in the first person like you're already there. I'm standing on my property, I'm looking out over my balcony, I'm loving walking into my lush orchard and rounding up the cattle and the ducks and the pigs, and walking through to the creek and throwing, bread at the fish and talking about it like it's already happened. Affirmations, that's right. And then I recommend speaking that out loud. Someone actually did this with me. My coach actually did this. Roxy, who's been on this program before, she actually did this with me on Sunday, and she interviewed me. And she interviewed me like it was a few years down the track, and I was sharing with her, and she's asking me all these questions, and she's bringing out more out of me than what I had even thought of myself. And so that was lots of fun. But then I also recommend doing this on a daily basis. So taking out the first hour of the day to set yourself up with a power hour. And in a power hour, there's actually 6 things that I recommend for you to do that will set you up for a powerful day, not just for the things that you want later on, but for setting yourself up so that you are vibing with the best intentions for your day. If you have the best day, you're going to have a couple of best days, you're going to have a great week, and a couple of great weeks lead to a great month, and a couple of great months lead to an awesome year. Now, when you set yourself up with the first hour of the day, you actually realize how much control you have in your day than you actually thought that you did. You won't experience life coming at you and having to deal with things. You'll experience actually being able to put out fires before they even happen. All right, and you'll be able to go back over your day and go, wow, how good do I feel? So going to bed on some really positive thoughts. Don't go to bed on the doom and gloom of the day, right? Making sure that you listen to something really uplifting before you go to sleep at the end. And then making sure that you are clear about your intentions at the start of every day. Okay. Now, if I can say, there's a few areas too, not just that's going to help with your thinking, but also with your health. So making sure part of your power hour consists of drinking water, and make sure that you have something to eat within the first 2 hours of waking up to kickstart your metabolism. Okay, so I want to make sure you're looking after your health as well. So drinking lots of water, and drink more water in the first part of the day than you do in the last part, so that you can have a good restful sleep. And also, so part of that power hour is journaling. Just keep writing out your vision, not just for the 5-year vision, but journaling what you're grateful for, journaling your intentions, journaling what happened that day, I keep a track of what I accomplished, and then putting out to the universe what you want. Part of that power hour is stretching, exercise, getting your body moving, all those good things, but also sitting in meditation or silence. And it doesn't have to be long, but actually practicing observing your thoughts, not being your thoughts. Okay, so that's really an important part of that practice. And then, like you said, Andrew, affirmations. So I've actually set up a program, and I've done lots of these in the past, where a power hour, and when I say done lots of these in the past, I've actually bought lots of programs that are self-run programs that help me set up my morning schedule and have a power hour and kickstart my day, all those good things. But I actually find that when I purchase a program that's self-run in the past, I kind of get to like day 3 or day 4 and I was like, got busy, sorry, missed it, haven't done it. And then that program kind of sits on the shelf for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should get back to that at some point. So I've actually developed a powerful 5-day program called Jigsaw. And Jigsaw stands for those things that I've just talked about: journaling, intentions, gratitude, stretching and silence, affirmation, and drinking water. And I've put them together in a 5-day workshop, 5-day, I guess, program, a method, so that you join me for an hour each day. And I've set it up so that you can either join me for like a 9:30 to 10:30 time slot, or a 6:30 to 7:30 time slot, so to have it suit your schedule, and they're alternating weeks. And then you get the rhythm of how to put those things into practice within an hour, and we just build on one thing each day, so that you actually get the rhythm of how to set up your day really powerfully. So, and then in that, the other thing that I was going to touch on tonight is your emotions, how emotions are really important to bring to you the things that you are intending to have happen. But as we're kind of running out of time, I'm going to leave that for another talk. But if you would like to join me on a Jigsaw program, it is on my website, and you'll be able to kind of log in there, and it's kind of a program by donation. It's because I just like everybody to get these practices under their belt, so that you can have a really great way to bring forth the design of your life, what you want to have happen. So I hope that's been a little bit of benefit to you, and you've been able to kind of think about how how you can create your future, and what do you want to have happen. I'll open up to any questions. Does anyone want to unmute and ask any questions?
I don't have a question, Kelly, but when you go back to, say, the emotions of your intention, it's like, to me, it's like the way I guess I manifest what I want is that, yes, I stand in it and I think about it, but I actually feel being in that situation, and then letting it go.
Yeah,
that's the secret.
Yeah, not being attached to it, right? So you feel the feelings of your vision, of what you're visioning. The standing in the orchard feels so exciting, and the wind blowing through your hair, and you're feeling, and then letting it go so that you're not attached. Yeah, okay.
Not controlling how it's going to come about. It's just having that, I guess, that trust that it's going to come.
Yeah, turning that over to the universe to just design it. Yeah, being intuitive to the outcome. And then I'll know when I step onto the right property that I'm meant to have, it'll feel right.
You'll know.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Carmen. Absolutely. And it's beautiful to hear, like, and I guess, many of you are in those kinds of, this is not a new thought. It's not a new thought, but it's always a good reminder to be intentional about bringing those things in. It's part of your day. Does anyone have a daily practice or something that you do regularly to that works for you guys?
Oh, well, since I'm sharing, I might as well share mine. So because I'm a Kundalini teacher, so I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher. So it's part of my sadhana, which is my spiritual practice. So my routine basically is in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I don't even get out of bed. As soon as I wake up, I have a singing bowl right next to my bed, and I play my singing bowl, and that really helps me move from the dream state or from the other reality that I'm in into this 3D reality. And like you said, you know, I just know when to stop. It's not so much, oh, it's 10 minutes now, I've got to stop. It's just, I just stop whenever I need to stop, or when I'm fully awake in this reality. And then, you know, I do all the practices of Kundalini, which is, I mean, for some people, it's a little bit nuts, which is, you know, the oil pulling, the neti pot, the cold shower in the morning. It's actually quite invigorating, Kath. You need to try it. The breath work, all of that stuff. And then I have to go to work. Yeah. The journaling and the intention. Sometimes I don't get to do that because I don't have time, but that intention is actually put into place when I've just woken up anyway.
Yeah, and you're present to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what so that's what I call the first bookend of my day. And then throughout the day, you know, always being mindful of what I'm thinking and what I'm saying. Not just not to just other people, but to myself. Like you said, you know, be mindful of what you're saying to yourself and what you're thinking as well. And then as I go, and then I prepare to go to bed. So I give myself, you know, at least an hour and a half. I mean, for some people it might be a little bit harder because they might have children or family or whatever it is, but I don't have that now. It's all about me now. So I get to, you know, I do all the wind down routine, which is journaling, you know, the gratitude journal and the intention, and also revising my day and going, all right, what is it throughout the day that could have been better? And then revising it to that I did it the way that I wanted to do it. So I fall asleep in that positive way.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So that's my routine.
It's good. It's good. It's good. And the main thing I think is that, you know, your routine can look a lot of different ways, and you have created something that really resonates with you, and that's, yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, and there's
very disciplined. Yes, I love that.
It's easy to be disciplined when you only have to look after yourself, right? Because the only person that you have to think about is you. The one other thing that I make sure that I do is I have a good belly laugh once a day.
Belly laugh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's good.
Carmen, I was looking. Sorry, when you're talking about a belly laugh, I was looking at your dog, watching your dog, and it was just like he was looking up at the roof, and I'm thinking, what is he thinking, and what's he looking at? And he just so yes, he was very entertaining. So.
Yeah, Molly. That's yes.
Molly. Molly.
So she's the one that actually gives me the belly
laugh. Yeah, I could imagine.
There you go. That was answered my question. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, Kelly, I know that. Well, I try to have a morning routine, and it depends on what I'm doing. And sometimes you might start on a routine, and then something happens, and then it sort of throws your balance, throws you out a little bit. I like to have, like in the morning, I get up and have my water with lemon juice and bicarb soda as a sort of first thing to do in the morning. I've been very slack for meditation, I must admit, and I just have like a 10-minute really quick yoga routine to get the brain and the body, moving. I try to journal as well and do my affirmations in the morning. But the other thing as a creative is just even I can do 10 minutes of a sketch or something, just something working towards my goal in the morning of sketching. And I just find that morning time, like setting that intention, really helpful for the rest of the day, definitely. but something, and sort of off that topic, not off that topic, but what a question I wanted to ask that keeps coming up is, with everything that's going on, the whole COVID thing in the last couple of years, something I've found is that I can be up and down, and like you can get, like sometimes I just have to put stuff down, or I have to ignore it, or, you know, I read something and it just like scares the shit out of me. Sorry. So, you know, it's just like, is this actually happening? And it actually makes you fearful. But I've learned to sort of, when I get that feeling, if I read something, I stop and I actually step away from it, or I just think, no, I can't engage in that because it's actually lowering my vibration. You know, I'm on this really high energy or high vibration, and then I read something and it brings it down, and it's like, and it can be in these extremes. I know there's a lot of stuff, bad stuff happening, but I think, you know, you always, for me, it's like, it's coming to that sort of middle ground, you know, it's sort of coming halfway. Is that the truth? You know, there's one extreme, then there's the other. And I think the truth often lies in the middle. And maybe things aren't as bad as what, you know, is being projected. I don't know, but I don't want to live there. Wow. So I tend to be aware of it. I think in the early days, it actually had me in quite anxious in the early days. And it took me about a month, and I realised, oh, this is just doing me no good. It's doing my head in. I wasn't even thinking about my goals or dreams because I'm thinking, what's the use, you know? So, but that was in the very early days. But I've just found that you can't sustain that. You know, it just drags you down. So how do you, like, I know for me, I've just got to keep reminding myself, it even happened today. I think I read something on Telegram, and it was just so extreme what this person was saying. It was so depressing. You know, it was just really horrible saying, you know, she was saying, you know, this is how it is. People are really bad. It's really horrible, and you need to wake up. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I am awake, but the way that it was said, it was just so, you know, it just made me feel really flat.
Yes.
And I sort of went from up here, and then I just sort of dropped. It just dropped, and I realised that is not a good thing, and I just basically switched off. But it's a constant roller coaster. Like, even though, you know, you can have these really good days and you have your high vibration, every now and again you something happens, or you read something and it just absolutely drops you to the bottom, and then you've got to sort of bring yourself up again. And then the other thing you're talking about is what you think you create. And even though this stuff is going on, I do truly believe that if you create it, if we're all co-creators in a way, and we're attracting certain things, there can be things that are going on, but you don't necessarily have to be attracting that. That there can be things happening around you, but it may not necessarily happen to you. And I've found that from experience. You know, people can say, this has happened to me and this has happened to me. And I'm thinking, no, that hasn't happened to me. You know, like, and I always wonder, why is that, you know, that this is happening to this person, but it's not happening to me? Realising that, oh, well, I've actually attracted that, you know, or. So it's just a reminder that regardless of what's going on around us, we can have our own microcosm, or, you know, where we're attracting a certain something, you know, something. So it's not necessarily happening to us if we don't want it to, or, yeah.
Yeah, and perfectly said, Kerri. And I think you answered the question, in fact. You know, being present to what's going on with you right now. And the more present that we are, so, you know, you could be really sad. Someone might have passed away, and you might be completely present to the grief of losing that loved one, and that's appropriate, you know. But what doesn't work is sitting on the beach and I'm going to say something about feeling. No, it's really just appropriate to feel exactly what you're feeling in that moment, and to be aware of it, you know. I'm having a sad moment, and that's okay. I'm allowed to have a sad moment. And then, another book that I read, which is really, really powerful, talks about how long you get to decide how long you want to be in any given space. Like you want to, this particular author, he actually suffered a car accident and was told that he wouldn't be able to walk. And he actually had this practice of deciding, if I'm going to be upset about something, I'm going to give myself a time limit of 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get over it. Now, I think, to me, I've tried that. I'm like, nah, that doesn't work for me. I think I need a bit longer. But he actually was very dedicated to this practice. And he told the doctors, I've had my 5 minutes, I'm good. Okay, let's get to work. I'm going to start walking again. And the doctors said to his father, you must have to have a talk with him because we're really worried, this is not quite right here. And they said, so his father sat him down. He's like, well, he's already sat down. He said, son, are you okay? He's like, Dad, come on, you know me better. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good to go here. And he really did, in a very short amount of time, get up and walk again, because he decided, I don't have to sit around in misery and how, they're not right about what they said. That's just their perception, and this is how it's going to go. But absolutely, Kerri, we go through these stages, we read things, and we have to get a little check about our belief system. Does that work with my belief system? Am I going to hang on to that? Do I want to dwell on that thought? Is it serving me? Try it on like a coat. If it fits, great, wear it. If not, just take it off. I don't have to carry it around just because you gave it to me. I'm taking that coat off now. I'm done. And being present to those thoughts and feelings is really, really the key to that. So, and I think you described it beautifully, everything that you just said. So, thank you for sharing that. It's absolutely, and life isn't meant to be always on one level, right? We're not going to always experience it up here. Otherwise we wouldn't know, we wouldn't experience the joy of that, because we haven't experienced the other side. So the emotional scale is there to be experienced, and nothing is wrong. There's no wrong emotion.
Well, we are spiritual beings in a human body.
Yeah.
Having a human experience. That's what it is. And this is the reason why we are here in this physical reality, to experience 5 senses, including the ups and the downs. And I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that, we're going to be, there are extremes. We're going to have those happy extremities, but we're also going to have those really heartbreaking moments as well. Because we won't get to appreciate it. Like you said, Kelli, we won't get to appreciate what a really happy moment is if we haven't gone through, painful times.
And I'm glad you said that, because that line was in my mind to say, and you've said it. We are spiritual beings having an earthly experience, not the other way around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's what we've forgotten, and that's why there is a disconnect with each other, and with ourselves, and with Earth, and with the universe as well.
Yeah.
We've forgotten how we're all connected and how powerful we really are.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I got this revelation the other day. Well, it's not a revelation, it's just knowledge, I guess, awareness that the evil entities running this world absolutely feed off my energy when I'm focused on the negatives and the nasty and the evil and the incredibly awful things that are going on, that I'm becoming aware that are going on, right? They've always been going on. and I've experienced what Kerry was talking about, where just suddenly I've got this anxiety, and it's because I've been focusing on something that's not uplifting or joyful or positive, or it's not my reality. It's there, and I've spent time acknowledging that and understanding the adrenochrome and the Satanist, just that awful world that's there. But I don't need to dwell in it, because my energy is so precious, and I need to create with it, not be obsessing about something that's not happening to me. I can influence my little area, and if you're talking biblically, my Judea and Samaria, and that's where I have to focus, because that's what I've been given to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about control. It's like you have to ask yourself, well, is it something that I can control? No, I can't control it, so why worry about it? Like you say, it's your circle of influence. What can I do? What can I control, and focus on that? So that's what I choose to do, is focus on what I can control.
Exactly.
I suppose that's all we can do.
Well, no, it's powerful to do that, because the demonic forces are starved of my energy when I don't give it to them. That makes me go, yes.
That's right, and that's why it's so important that our relationships are good, because when we fight and bicker over things and disagree, well, then those dark energies are winning, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think we all need to bring it back to ourselves. If our relationship with ourselves is good, then your relationship with everybody else will filter out being positive. I mean, we're not going to get on with everybody, right? That's just the way life is. But if we are centered and aligned within ourselves, we'll just know, like that person that told me to stay away from them because I'm the one that's spreading COVID or whatever it is. I just went, okay, love and light to you. I won't speak to you. That's it. Done. Nothing else. You're not going to get anything from me, and I'm not going to get anything from you. Finished. That's
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you'll find the ones that are light and love, and who you are drawn to. And Andrew says we can't control a lot of things, but we can control how we respond. 100%. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. So
bring it back to self. That's what it is.
So my spiritual beings, I'm so glad that you have joined us tonight, and this conversation has been beautiful, and thank you everyone for sharing. I hope you all have a marvelous week, and really maybe a nice little way to end is I want you all to expect a miracle this week. I want you to think about something that you would like to have happen. Maybe you don't know how it's going to happen, and maybe you want to put it out there that have a miracle happen this week. And it might be something that next Tuesday you come back and you go, wow, I didn't even see that on my radar as something that I thought was going to happen, and somebody came into my life, or something happened, or somehow I had courage to say this or whatever. And I want you to be ready for a miracle. All right, so that's my little task for each of you. And if you experience anything like that, then I would love to hear from you and share. And maybe when you jump on next Tuesday, that you can share with everyone what your miracle is that you created. So I'm going to send you all off with that thought, and have a great miracle this week.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. That was very good.
Thanks, Kelly.
Beautiful.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
That was very good. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.